Thank you. So perhaps it is because English is not my first language, or simply because I do a lot of reading in my line of work, that I stumble and wonder when I come upon an oxymoron. Two people want to be alone together. Someone is forced to make the only choice. Or a retiree is being given a farewell reception. Often the phrase "an inherent contradiction" is designed to draw your attention with its awkwardness or to add a dramatic flourish. In our case, in the Torah, it is often to teach us an important lesson. So towards the end of our Torah reading today, Moses commands the Israelites to remember Amalek, the enemy who attacked them when they were vulnerable, striking at the rear, targeting the weary and defenseless. The command to remember Zachor is paired with the instruction to plot out the memory, Timche. Ingrid also mentioned this morning in our Torah study. So this is the passage. It says, "Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you left Egypt, how he surprised you on the march when you were famished and weary, and cut down all the stragglers in your rear. Therefore, when the eternal your God grants you safety from all your enemies around you, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under the heaven. Do not forget." We are told on one hand, Zachor, remember, and Lo tishkach, do not forget, but we are also commanded to Timche et Zecha, blot out the memory, on the other hand. How does God expect us to do both? So while studying for this week's Torah breakfast, I found that this paradox addresses directly our experience today, as we are still dealing with the aftermath of the brutal attack by Hamas on Israel. Nearly 1 year later, we are still dealing with it, and we're struggling with it. How can we remember the atrocities that have been committed while also striving to move forward? We are called to remember the pain, suffering, and loss. We cannot and must not forget the lives that have been taken, the families torn apart, and the communities shattered. We must remember the victims, honor their lives, and stand in solidarity with those who are still suffering. The Torah directly asks us not to forget the pain or minimize the loss. It calls on us to remember what was done to us to ensure that we remain vigilant and aware. But it also calls on us to plot out Amalek. The Amalek of the Torah is not just a person or a people, as the sages teach us, which might also help us to understand what it means to blot out Amalek today. Amalek has become an archetype, a symbol of all evil. Throughout Jewish history, Amalek has represented enemies who sought to destroy the Jewish people, from Haman in the Purim story to the Nazis during the Shoah. But Amalek is more than an external threat. Amalek also symbolizes internal challenges, fear, hatred, and hopelessness. The commandment to blot out Amalek is a call to eradicate destructive forces, both in the world around us and within our own hearts, so that we are not consumed by the very evil we are fighting against. In Israel's current struggle, we cannot erase the horror of the attacks on civilians, the innocent lives lost, or the fear that lingers. But we are also called to find a way to honor those memories without allowing them to feed into a cycle of hatred that blinds us to the justice and mercy. That is the challenge, to remember the pain but refuse to allow it to harden our hearts. We must defend ourselves and fight for justice and security while also rising above the cycle of vengeance and dehumanization. The attack by Hamas has reminded us of the harsh realities of living in a world where violence is still a reality and closer to us than we thought, making it necessary to sometimes use force ourselves to protect ourselves. But the Torah teaches us that there is a way to fight without losing our souls. We can defend ourselves while still upholding the principles of justice, dignity, and compassion that our tradition demands. At an interfaith meeting last week, I said with a young Muslim woman, the most important part of our conversation was acknowledging the pain we both have experienced. The pain and the fear of our children in our and her communities, for example. In schools where both Jewish and Muslim children often hide their religious heritage and identity because they do not feel safe enough to express it openly. This is painful. It seems that coming out as a Muslim or a Jew seems to be a challenge that we all thought was a thing of the past. This pain is real, and we must do everything we can to ensure that this does not continue, including not adding to the spiral of hatred any additional fuel. The commandment to remember Amalek is not meant to trap us in a cycle of grief and anger. It is meant to empower us to protect ourselves from future harm. The call to blot out Amalek is not about erasing history, but about removing the poison of hatred from our hearts, ensuring that it does not take root within us. So may we have the strength to face the challenges ahead with courage and compassion. May we remember the pain, but never allow it to make us bitter. And may we hold fast to the hope that one day, peace will come to a world that needs it so much. Shabbat Shalom. And